with all the mindset shifts I was trying then and still am trying now, is to change OCD and anxiety so that people can see it's their perspectives in the now that's holding them back, nothing else. And that is a way of being, you know. You can't just say these things without embodying it. You've got to live it. It's got to be your life. It's got to be your new life of how you're doing and how you're living through it. And it makes so much difference, because once you start to see unconditional self-life, other acceptance, you learn to stop catastrophizing things, and you start to live very much in the now for healthy, better living, better connection with people, going towards your goals. You can work loads, you can be focused on what you do, all different things, but you've got this new outlook on things because you're seeing things as they are instead of the illusion of fear. And that became everything I wanted to do, and all the work I wanted to do. I saw how much that had changed my own life with OCD, and I wanted to make that change massively with OCD and anxiety in this community. And so I was very much focused on doing this from a life coaching direction of changing our life philosophies, changing how we observe fears, all these different things that I had seen other people in the life coaching industry go towards careers, success, go towards being motivated for a job, and then they were touching a lot on fear. They were touching more on fear and things that hold us back, but directed towards careers and directed towards goals. And I thought, forget that. Of course, that's part of life and what humans want. But the most important thing is focusing on anxiety when it's consuming someone. It's all the same thing. OCD, generalized anxiety disorder, panic attacks are illusions of fear holding people back in a cycle that they feel they are chronically consumed. But it's a case of breaking down the fears. It's a case of looking at why you're scared and they vanish. It's an illusion. When you see it and you feel it, you realize it's an illusion. But it takes time to see that. It took me time to see that. It didn't happen instantly. So you've got to look at people that are recovering, that give you motivation. Why we do so much work around getting people to share stories about their recovery. When I was stuck, it was a nightmare. When I was stuck, I used to go onto forums. I used to spend ages in forums. And you used to go in forums and you'd find one recovery story for every 1,000 negative stories, and the person would vanish. Because once they got better, they thought, forget it, I don't want to talk anymore about OCD, and off I go. So the hardest thing for me was speaking to people to get them to understand that sharing their story in the future will change lives. And collectively, more of those will change OCD. That is the key, most important thing in changing OCD. You have got to, when you work and you get better and you improve, you don't have to be recovered, but share some things in Facebook groups, whatever, forums, whatever. Share some things about what you're learning. Changes other people's lives like that. Most of the information is so negative. Oh, I've been stuck like this for 20 years. Hang in there. Don't worry. The bad days, you get used to them more. That's disaster. That's not motivation. No one's going to feel wanting to jump out of bed to really go and grasp life when that's the outlook. Something that I always saw that Tony Robbins talked about and a lot of people talked about was, you're not going to be motivated by extremely small goals. That doesn't mean you have to have huge goals. But if your goal's like, I want 5% improvement in OCD in 20 years, that ain't going to motivate many people, right? So you've got to really think, what's going to wake me up? Now, I'm not doing this from sort of some motivational spiel that doesn't have any reality-based facts latched to it. I'm talking about in reality. To really wake up and really go for it, you've got to feel motivated. You've got to really want to go for it. Now, that is definitely not going to be something so small. Of course, it's a one-day-at-a-time approach. Of course, it's like peeling off layers of an onion with anxiety, bit by bit by bit. But the problem is, if you don't set yourself, I want to make a big improvement to my anxiety, a big improvement to my life, you're not going to feel motivated to do it. So that's key.